Hello everyone, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Today we are flying once again the FlyByWire A32NX. Today's flight, Spirit Wings Flight 1046, will be from Houston, Texas. Actually the George Bush Intercontinental International Airport. Well, I guess the Intercontinental isn't international. I guess that means the same thing though, but it's one of the two airports in Houston. And we'll be flying down to the party city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Today's flight time, not even an hour, 48 minutes. Cruising altitude 31,000 feet. As you can tell, it's cloudy here in Houston. Overcast of 1,700 feet. Some pretty strong winds coming in from the northwest at 15 knots. We have 10-mile visibility here on the ground, and it is 6 degrees. Weather in New Orleans isn't looking better at all. Overcast 600 feet with some pretty strong winds coming in from the northwest as well. 12 knots, gusting up to 23. It is 9 degrees in New Orleans. So I was reading my flight plan, and under the NOTAMs, it's the first time I've ever seen this, but there's a 5G warning in effect for the Houston airport. I guess if you've been following up on the news that 5G has been causing some problems with avionics and all the systems on board aircraft. So airports are now taking precautions as far as the 5G network goes. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the cockpit here. I already turned on the aircraft because it takes forever to board. It's only 115 passengers though, so maybe it won't take as long. Alright, so today's flight will be taking off from George Bush down to Armstrong International. Our alternate today is it BTN? BTR is Baton Rouge. I don't know what that was. What is that? That's weird, I've never heard that before. Alright, so flight number, Spirit Wings. 1046. Cost index 12. And our cruising altitude is 31,000 feet. And we're good there. We're not going to put in the weight yet, but we will go ahead and enter our flight plan. So we'll be taking off today. It's going to be quite a taxi actually. The only departing runway right now is 26 right. We are on the south end of the airport, and this is the farmost northern runway. So it's gonna be a taxi. What's our transition? GUSTI. Then from there, we fly direct to our arrival. We'll be planning ILS-2, AWDAD, and do we want? What are the vias for this? Yeah. All that. Yep. That's what we want. We'll get rid of this discontinuity. Oh, I can't get rid of that. That's a shame. Actually, that's good. Yeah, so we're gonna be vectoring around. I think the taxi itself is gonna be an hour. Does this work? I can pull it up and show you. See if it's... Ah, no, it does not. Do I have to do this every time? I really don't want to. You know, I'm not even gonna bother. If you look up the Houston Airport code KIAH, and then just add or do a find a diagram, you'll see where we are. Okay, so we got the flight plan in. We'll load up the fuel. Fuel on board for today's flight is 9038. And that was fast. Let's check where we are as far as boarding. Should be almost done. Oh yeah, look at that, we are done. Perfect. We'll just put in our ZFW and our block fuel. Gotta put in manually, of course. 9.0. Give it a second to load up all the data. There we go. Alright, performance. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet. We'll be taking off flaps 2. And we got our V speeds. Actually, you know, that's bound to change by the time I get there. Excuse me, sorry, I've got the hiccups. So I'll wait to fill out that information. So we are probably at cruising altitude, because usually it's valid for 45 minutes or something like that. Okay, what is our Our top altitude for today's departure is actually 16,000 feet. That's probably the highest top I've ever seen. Okay, all that looks good. Get the nav light on, beacon, or not the beacon, the fasten seatbelt signs, and the no portable devices. We can get the fuel pumps going. And we'll start the APU so we can disconnect from ground power. Yeah, we'll get the beacon on too. Sorry guys, there's a scheduled mix-up for work this weekend. Alright, that should have been enough time. The APU is on and available. We'll turn on the APU generator and the bleed and turn off the external power. Alright, so now we are running on APU. We can disconnect the external power unit. And we should be ready to push back.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by. Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. Standing by for pushback.
Okay, just do a quick check here. Gotta lock that. I got that. Good. All doors are closed. I do believe we are ready for push and start. We'll get the probe heat on. Alright, let's request pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
There we go. Nice and easy. We're going to put it on the center line here. And we're good to start our engine, so we'll start with engine 2. And engine 1. Disconnect. We have a good.
Pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set. Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Cleared to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Thank you.
Holding position, waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
I'm going to turn on the engine generators, the engine packs, turn off the APU bleed, and turn on the engine bleed. Alright, both engines are stable. We have both generators on. We can turn off the APU generator and shut it down. Engine starter sets to normal. APU is shutting down. We're going to do a flight control test now. Right, left, down, up, rudder left, rudder right, spoilers. And we'll be taking off flaps 2. Oh, yeah, wrong one. Used to X-plane. Alright, taxi light on. And we are good to go. Time to begin our 40-minute journey to runway 26 right. brake max. Takeoff config normal. So our climb out, we're gonna fly heading 267. Oop, past it. Oh, that's not what I want. I want you. There we go. You're gonna stay managed. Don't have to worry about speed. Some nasty looking clouds. Wow, we're just gonna freeze up like that. Come on. Thank you. We're going a little fast, but that's fine. So we would have been able to take off runway 27, but runway 9 and 27 are closed. I think for construction. I don't know why else they would close the runway. And we are flying down this taxiway. Okay, so that's November Kilo. We're looking for taxiway November Papa. But for some reason, I guess you think it's a good idea, instead of having the departures come in 26 left and then the arrivals come in all the way out there, they would rather have the arrivals on the closer runway than on the outermost runway. Philly does the same thing, but only when flying. That's Bravo. Look at that, they got the taxiways all mixed up too, charts. But, yeah, so for east flows in Philly, they do 9 right for landings and 9 left for takeoffs. Which is what you would normally see, having the the outbound, or not the outbound, what would that be? The most outer runway for landings. But when doing west flows, they use 27 right for landings, and then 27 left for takeoffs. I don't know why. I just find it weird that they do that. It's almost like if you fly into DFW, and if you know the layout of that airport, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 runways. But they use the inside runways for takeoffs. And then, let's see, when flying, let's do south for an example, south flows, they use the 18 right, and then 17 center and left. So they got 3 different landing runways and only 2 departing runways. There we go, we're finally here, look at that. I'll let the cabin know.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Alright, so we're all green here. We'll turn on the strobe light, landing light, and nose wheel set for takeoff. AP generator off, AP bleed off, engine packs, bleeds on, electric pump on. I don't know where the predicted wind shear, is that it down there? I have no idea. Where would the wind shear be? Get that stupid warning off of our ECAS. Yeah, I have no idea. We're at landing elevation 2. Oh well. If I find it, I find it. What I should do is actually read the manual for this aircraft, but I think I got it. Alright, on our climb out, we're going to be flying heading 267 up to 600 feet. At 600 feet, we will vector ourselves to TAPS, and we are expected to cross Bottle at 5,000 feet. Because they don't have any other runways used for departures, we can actually make a left turn instead of a right and fly all the way around. Alright, let's spool up the engines, 40%. Brakes released. And set to toga. V1 and rotate. Positive ready climb, landing gear up. And we'll begin our turn to fly direct to bottle. Thrust lever is set to climb. It'd be smart if they put in the route. You know, the air here isn't too bad, the Houston area, but once we get to New Orleans, it's gonna be a mess. Definitely not expecting a smooth landing. There's the 10,000 foot. The autopilot automatically set our climbing speed to 290 knots. maybe next flight I'll hand fly it up to cruising altitude. I was talking with a buddy of mine. I play hockey with him, and he's a pilot. He's actually a flight instructor at one of the local airports here, and he said that they're trying to teach to be more hands-on instead of relying on the autopilot. Look at the anti-ice going here. Because there was a recent accident. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in the previous stream, where there was a 777 taken off out of Dubai, I believe. And the pilots taking off were so focused on this flight director right here, but they didn't realize, because I guess they were relying too much on the system, that their altitude bug was actually set to 0. So you're already on the ground. This is going to be on the artificial horizon. And so when they take off, they level off and just keep it on here. They're not looking out the window. I mean, it was a night flight too, so you can't really see much. But yeah, they're not looking out the windshield at all. They're focused on this with the T on here. All right, there's 18,000 feet. No, not that. There we go. And I think they were flying 500 feet, if that, over a residential area. I guess one of them finally realized, or looked out the windshield and saw, you know, they were flying 500 feet. And pulled a really hard nose-high climb with passengers on board. Instead of returning to the airport, they completed their flight to Washington Dulles, and I think they were fired then, or they were fired when they got back to Dubai. I'm not 100%. But they did check for damage. I think there was damage from trees or something. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different accident. Yeah, long story short, flight schools and major airlines want to avoid keeping your eyes fixed on the flight director and be more hands-on. I wish there was an easier way for me to change camera views instead of opening the camera, coming over here. I think you need a number pad for that. I don't have a keyboard with a number pad. I did order one though. It's coming in soon, hopefully. I really think Spirit should be nicknamed the Flying Banana. Speaking of Spirit, so I have an aunt who works for the FAA out of Atlantic City. I could be wrong, but I think she's a manager, or she's up there in the ranks with communication systems, with departures and arrivals throughout the country. But she told me that they have some A321 and A320neo, and I think A321neos. I don't think Spirit flies those. But they have professional simulators at the Atlantic City Airport, which is actually Spirit's main hub. So she said she was actually going to try and talk to some people and see if she can actually get me in one of those professional simulators and do a flight or two with a flight instructor. So that'd be pretty cool to experience. Yeah, that looks nasty over there. Alright, so at this time we have now reached our cruising altitude of 31,000 feet. Fasten seatbelt signs are coming off, but we might need to turn them on later on if the weather is not in our favor. I would say we're about 80 miles or so. Excuse me. From our descent. Let's see if I can get that pulled up. Nope. So target altitude. What is that? 12,000 feet. Oh, jeez. We do not want that. Usually you want to do it in steps. We actually want to be at 11,000 feet, crossing AWDAD. So put it in there. So AWDAD is, how far would that be? I wish it would tell me. What I'm going to do really quick is request the ADIS so we can put that in the system. Say we're about 130 miles. We'll figure it out. Runway heading is 16. It is not dry, it is with medium pour. Last time I did this, I didn't feel like filling out all that stuff. Received messages, yes. Print. See, like, the computer's already asking us for the data there. Take that. Some strong winds there. Overcast 700 feet. Temperature is 8 degrees. Wind is 340 at 14, gusting up to 22. Transition altitude 18,000 feet. Our minimums is 413 feet. Okay. So we are cruising altitude. We're expecting to begin our descent in about probably 20 minutes or so. Not even, maybe 15. Just eyeballing it. Alright, so we're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy cruising for a bit. Alright, as you may have seen, we have begun our descent. It is not looking pretty at all. Oh, I can't have a hold. Alright, so we're going to be doing what is called a hold. Oops. So instead of flying direct, usually pilots will fly in what is called a hold. It's not a holding pattern. It's so some waypoints during a star, you will see there's a circle around it with arrows. That indicates that it is a holding point. Holds are usually there to help the pilots with descending, so they're not really too high or too low at a certain point. So we can hold here at AWDAD until we are down to 11,000 feet. Turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. So the altimeter in New Orleans is, pretty sure that's an 18. 3018. With a lot of wind. Get the information on this hold. Usually it'll tell you in the FMS how big, or like not how big, but like the, I guess the properties of a hold are. Usually it's a certain distance, within a certain speed, and a certain time. The time is usually by halves, so I could be wrong. I think it's by halves. So if you have a 2.5 minute hold, that's 2.5 minutes to go around like that, and then another 2.5 to go around like that. It was a poor explanation, but it's all I got. Okay, so now we can go ahead. Direct to Rudder. Man, that's really throwing me off. On my tablet here, where I normally have all my charts, I can set it so I can have it track my aircraft in the app. But I think there was something wrong with sim leak. I think I needed an update or something. And I didn't update it, not thinking anything of it. And now I can't track my aircraft. I'm used to looking over and seeing a pink triangle on the route showing where I am, but obviously it's not there. So now we're going to descend down to 6,000 feet and decelerate to 220 knots. Anti-ice can come up. We are above 10 degrees, or 10 and above TAT. Get the fuel crossfeed on, kind of balance it out. We are heavy a little bit on one side here. Alright, we're below 10,000 feet. Landing lights are coming on. Fasten seatbelt signs are on. We do not turn on. Actually, we'll set it to taxi, so we don't worry about that. Once the gear is down. Okay, ATC. Oh, I need radio. And it's already put in for us. Perfect. Honestly, I think the sim would be a lot better if there wasn't so much stuttering. And I think I'm speaking for everybody who flies, whether it's for casual flying or trying to simulate real-world flying. The stuttering does get annoying. Especially when you're trying to land, too. We're now level at 4,000 feet, flying 220 knots. Actually, decel to 210. shows that OLED. We're going to descend down to 3,000 feet, and that'll be our final altitude before intersecting the ILS for runway 2. Start descent down to 1,000 feet. I'm going to decelerate at this time to 280 knots and set the flaps to 1. And we'll activate or engage the approach mode. I'm looking at about 15 miles away from the airport. I love the sound of the engines. It's one of my favorite things about Airbus is their CFM engines. They sound amazing. It looks like we have captured the glide slope. And 10 miles? I guess we didn't capture it. Set flaps 2. There we go. Now glide slope is captured. Let's decelerate. 40. Alright, coming up on 7.5 miles. Spoilers armed.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
I have 0 visibility on the airport. Or should just be on the other side of this river here. So 7 miles, landing gear coming down, flaps 3. I seriously have to figure out how to make the replay tool work. Alright, there's the airport. Our landing speed. 127. We're now 5 miles out from the airport. Flaps full. And we will decelerate to 132. At 1,000 feet, we'll disengage the autopilot and hand fly it down because we do have the visibility of the field. Autopilot disconnect. I am in control.
Above, 500, 100 above, 100 above, 500. Minimum.
Continue. So at the minimums, if you can't see the runway lights, by minimums, you are pretty much required to make a go around. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5. Touchdown, reversers on. $60 knots, reversers off. Turn on the taxi lights. Honestly, that wasn't too bad. I was expecting some more turbulence on landing. Alright, spoilers down. The landing lights off. Landing lights off, thank you. Strobe lights off. Flaps coming up. And we'll turn on the APU. Get that powered up. I wonder if they have this terminal finished or not. So this is a new passenger terminal over here, but earlier when I was trying to start the flight here, it wasn't an option to start over here. I only had to start over here, but every gate I tried, it actually started me backwards. It was weird. I don't see the jetways, so I guess it's not open yet. Turn off the flight director and the landing system. It's not showing me. So an updated airport chart says that that terminal is open, but here it's saying it's not in the sim, and it doesn't even tell me the parking gates for this side. It only shows me for the other side. This will be parking straight ahead today. Actually, I don't want to park there. I want to park over here. This one's got the lines. Turn off the taxi light. It said turn it off, thank you. I don't know why the brakes are so sensitive for this aircraft. Oh well, not perfect. Alright, parking brake on. APU generator on. And we are good to shut down engine 1 and 2. And turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. APU bleed on, engine bleeds and packs off. Wow, it's not even gonna connect. That stinks. Oh well, it is what it is. I'll turn off the beacon. Alright guys, so that was Spiritwings 1046 from Houston, Texas to New Orleans. Next scheduled flight is a United flight. We'll be back in X-Plane 11, flying the level up 737-800 from Newark, New York to Raleigh, North Carolina. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next flight.